And we are back with the second half of Promising Over the Wall, Middle Age, Losing the Fight with Gravity Woman. So, where were we? We just left off with her boss accusing Bo of being a child murderer because some of the children under his care have perished. Again, terminal diseases are not curable. I don't think she knows that. Well, talking about again, and she just starts telling him like, no effing where the customers eat. Again, men at the bar. Remember in our last episode, men at the bar going, oh look, again, I don't know any guy that talks like that, but men at the bar in this fictional world. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm gonna F that. Oh, look at that. Oh, passed out chick. Oh, I can't get it up without a passed out chick because I'm a male character in this movie. Toxic, bad society needs to change. Woman blatantly telling people, now y'all be effing, now y'all be sticking in, giving the old in out. Again, stunning and brave, not rude at all. Rude behavior, if you have bulbs and vagine, makes you strong. Keep it up. So now we find out the real catalyst. Years ago, school means they would have. Oh, I already did the math on that. They should have been 25. So they would be about 32 if this event happened 7 years ago. So anyway, Alison Brie, whom I love. Netflix, if you see this, bring back Glow. Season 4, I gotta know what happens to Ruth. God, Alison Brie. Now there is a promising young woman. I know I think she's actually older than the main actress, even though she looks about 20 years younger. Hey, that's not an insult. Shit happens, right? There's people older than me that look younger. That's fine. But, yeah. So, apparently, back in high school, our protagonist's friend liked to get blackout drunk and wake up with strange men. One day, she woke up with a strange man she didn't think she wanted, but she can't remember. He can't remember. Nobody can remember because they're all blackout drunk. And she was like, oh, I've been R-worded, and killed herself. And Alison Brie, who didn't want to get blackout drunk every night and sleep with random men, was like, well, that's kind of the risk you run when you go blackout drunk. So she's on the list of vengeance. So she invites her out for drinks. And of course, again, no woman in this movie, if you think the men are portrayed bad, women are also portrayed as incredibly stupid because every girl in the street, I thought she was going to drug her, but no. She just offers her wine, and every woman in this one, it's impossible. They don't go, oh, how have you been? They go, oh my God, it's so good to see you. Another, and another, another. She gets so drunk, she spills the bottle of wine in this very fancy restaurant, which would get you kicked the F out. Get you a cab. No, not her, because again, we are in fantasy land. So she goes over to this guy at the bar, and the guy's like, are you sure about this? And she says, yes. So even the dude is uncomfortable. This guy she's hired to take Allison away while she's stumbling drunk, which again, in a prestigious 5-star restaurant, chicks over there knocking shit over on her drinks, they would probably already be calling her a cab and walking her to the door, not letting a stranger come over and pick her up. But we, again, fantasy world. So then she starts scoping out and stalking her old dean's teenage child. So her dean, who said, well, your friend Nina has willingly, intentionally, on her own, got drunk and woke up next to a strange man 50 times in the past, so I'm not going to suspend the 51st guy to do it just because she wants it. They were both drinking. And so she needs vengeance. So again, she stalks this daughter. She asks her, you want to come with me? And the daughter's like, no, I don't go with strangers. And again, not taking no for an answer, female protagonist, Cassie, insists and finally gets her into the car. Oh, and takes her cell phone. How awesome. So then she goes to see um, her her dean, and then says, "Oh yeah, well, who listens to that? Of course, one or two a week, which no, I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe things have changed the last 5 years. Some say, oh, because women were scared to come forward before. Well, maybe it's because people like the creators of this movie and its fans have put it into young women's head today. If you've ever been asked on a date that you didn't want to go on, you've been R-worded. If you have ever been looked at by a man, you've been R-worded. Yes, that is where they got the 1 in 5 number, not the 1 in 53 that law enforcement says it is. But of course, law enforcement is white supremacist and patriarchy. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so she tells her, well, I left your daughter with a bunch of drunk frat boys. We'll see what happens to her. Oh, my daughter! Because again, her daughter wouldn't actually do that on her own, so we must force it. The girls who do put themselves in those situations intentionally need to put girls who don't do it intentionally so they know their pain. If that makes any sense. It doesn't, but that is the thought process of the creators of this. So anyway, she freaks out and says, of course I dropped her off at a diner. I just said that to scare you. Blah, blah, blah. So she's okay. She didn't actually kidnap a kid, so we can all, well, she kind of did, but she didn't drop, but she dropped her off somewhere safe. So we can all pray. And says, oh my God, I will always listen. In the future, every accusation, I will suspend the boys without trial or without witnesses, without any evidence whatsoever. And she's like, good. And leaves. What good does brains do a girl anyway as she leaves? Because, again, the warden, I mean, whatever the hell you call it, the dean is a woman. Alison Brie is a doctor because she didn't drop out. But, yeah, got to throw that comment in there anyway, that women are only judged on their looks. Okay, let's see. So, sitting parked. Oh, and then after she leaves, she's just sat parked in the middle of the road, and somebody comes behind her and starts honking. A man, of course, because a woman wouldn't ever honk and yell at somebody parked in the middle of the road. No stop sign, no red light, no nothing. Pulls out. So she gets out, being the strong, brave woman she is, grabs a tire iron, smashes the dude's taillight, smashes his windshield. Oh, you're crazy. Because, all men are cowards deep down. He drives off. And really, in real life, women do hit men all the time at a ratio of like 10 to 1 over men hitting women. And those women are still alive because, don't need to protect girls. We just got to educate our boys. Well, men are educated. Okay. Yeah, look at that thing popping up back there. Anyway, men are educated. That's why all the 110-pound girls that have ever slugged a man in a club or bar are still alive and still have all their teeth because men are educated. Look at the Uber driver. That lit chick took a nap in the backseat, woke up, started stabbing him, biting him in the neck, and he didn't fight back. He could have swerved and killed somebody else. He was going to let that happen before he fought back against a woman biting and stabbing his neck. That is how well educated men are in real life, but not in this movie. I myself, just a few weeks ago, was trying to pull into the car wash, and they were all men, so we can blame that on them, on one gender, right? Instead of just pulling behind a slot in the car wash and waiting, taking your chance of who's going to be done first, they all parked in the entryway. So I couldn't get in. I couldn't get around them. And so I had to wait. And the lady behind me started honking and yelling at me. I thought she was honking, and I'm like, yeah, good. And I look back, and she's irate with me for not pulling in, even though I literally couldn't without going bumper to bumper with someone. So, but yeah, only men, of course. Of course, it was a man yelling at her. And there's even triumphant music as he drives away, as she smashes all this shit. So, okay, I don't want to. Anyway, I don't want to read that. I was going to share something personal, but I don't want to. That was personal enough. So anyway, then she goes and visits the defense attorney of the boy that was accused of her friend Nina, Doc Ock, and he just starts weeping at her door. I've been expecting you. Like, is there a warrant out for her for the kidnapping? For making Alison Brie believe she was R-worded? Hiring felons to help her? Is there a warrant? This guy helped on a case 7 years ago. 5 if you do the math right. And he's just been waiting at his door for the friend of an accuser 7 years ago. Okay, sure. So ridiculous. But hey, at least there's one guy who's not inherently evil in this movie. But of course, yes, it's a defense attorney who was like, hey, she was wasted. My client was wasted too. So he is still kind of evil and must live the rest of his life in regret and pain and sorrow. So anyway, simp dude catches her walking out of a bar with some other guy. And of course, he has no idea she's batshit and what she's doing. And of course, when she reveals to the guy she's sober, he runs off crying because, all men are cowards deep down. It's true. I'm sure we're all just, right? Every time we bring a chick back here and she's like, no, I'm going to leave. Yeah, every time. So anyway, Bo Bunham leaves, and again, because, of course it was that easy. She picks up a guy because our D's only get hard when they're passed out. So, I guess I had that backwards, whatever. So, Bo runs in the next day and says, I forget. Again, she doesn't explain anything. She doesn't explain what she was doing, trying to catch bad men, attacking, or trying to seduce passed out girls. So, again, all he knows is while we've been dating, that's what she's been sucking off random dudes every night. But, like the writers of this movie would tell you, a real man not only doesn't ask questions, not only will he not have an opinion of his own and drink your spit and apologize profusely for everything and never ask you to his apartment, but the day after he finds out you've been sucking off strange D while he's been paying for dinner, he comes back and apologizes, because that is what a real man does. I paid it. Let's see. Oh, she was going to pay a convict to beat up the lawyer. Allison Brie. Jeez. She calls and is like, okay, did I get R-worded or not? That guy you hired. She's like, no, I just wanted you to think you're R-worded because I'm a strong woman. Okay, because you don't get voluntarily drunk. I wanted you to know what it feels like when you do. And so Alison Brie somehow gives her the record. Oh yeah, they recorded the whole action of banging your friend while she was unconscious, drunk, not drugged, just drunk, like the guy was. Again, not defending him. I mean, if you come into a room and a chick's passed out and you deserve to die. Okay, Brock Turner, the whole reason this movie came about. Again, it's just so low-hanging fruit. Oh my God, there's a famous case of an R-word getting away. Let's make a whole movie depicting all men as with Brock Turner as our representative. I know, right? I'm tired of this too. Anyway, so apparently she's been holding on to that video for 7 years on her phone. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm a construction worker. I go through about 4 phones a year. Sucks. All my videos and pictures, I gotta run through, get them all again, all the numbers. But she's had the same phone for 7 years. 5 if you do the math right. Oh, and she discovers who was on the tape. The only man in the world that was not a rapist. The one man in the world who would apologize to me when he thinks I've been sucking strange D every night. The man who drinks my spit and won't have an opinion of his own. Of course, he was there watching. Oh. Of course, he uses the kid excuse too, which he would have been 23 according to the math in this movie, 25 according to real life math. So And then okay, whatever. So they weren't expecting a stripper. She just shows up at rando in her nurse outfit with her Harley Quinn hair with drugged vodka. Again, God, she hired an ex-con for Alison Brie, an ex-con for the lawyer potentially if he hadn't spent the last 7 years repenting for doing his job, which granted sometimes it is a pretty crappy job. But so's being what the hell, prosecutor. Sometimes they got a crappy job too. So anyway, I don't know where this lady gets all these drugs to drug people and felons. I I know a lot of guys. I know guys in the medical industry. I don't know where they get all this. I don't know where she's getting it all. So again, so it's time the guy who slept with her drunk friend R-worded. Oh, well, fine. I'll give him the benefit of a doubt. They were both drunk, so we don't know. And says, oh, we didn't order a stripper. But again, Cassie doesn't take no for an answer, insists. The guy she's after says, I'm not into it, I'm engaged. But Cassie does not take no for an answer. So she gets them all drunk, takes Bash. He's also from Glow, so that's where I know him from. We will refer to him as Bash because I don't remember his name in the movie. And was it Sal? Anyway, she gets him upstairs. She handcuffs him to the bed. And then she whips out a scalpel and says he can scream for help all he wants. They're in the middle of nowhere. And all his friends are black out. She made it. They didn't voluntarily drink themselves like her friend. Again, if her friend was passed out when it started, okay, the guy kind of deserves something, but he doesn't know. He was blackout drunk too, as far as we know. So, but believe all women. No trials, no evidence should come into play. No, just if they say it, it's true. So she goes and she whips out a scalpel and she starts cutting the guy, and the guy gets one hand free, holds her down. She's trying to stab him. He has to grab her scalpel hand and hold it down and get the scalpel out of it. Other hand cuffed to the bed still when he suffocates her with his knee over the pillow. And reading the comments, the fans were very upset about this. They were saying, he held us so long. He didn't have to kill her. Look, ladies, if you're watching this, men too, men and women, whether a man or a woman has you handcuffed to a bed and a scalpel, and they're going to start sawing into you, and you can't, your friends are all passed out because the person with the scalpel drugged them. You can't get to a phone because the other hand's still cuffed to the bed. You can't reach the scalpel. You had to wrestle away from them. They can if you let them up. You don't let go of the choke. You don't let go. You'll be dead. Okay, I got in a fight last May with some drunk a-hole at a party, dropping kids and stuff. I choked the dude out twice. Within seconds, both times he got up and ran after me again, swinging for the fences. Of course, in this case, our protagonist, finger quotes, would pick up a scalpel and come after you if he wasn't already handcuffed. But he's handcuffed. He's as good as dead if you let go of that choke. So you don't let go. She's not going to go, okay, you win. I'll pick up my scalpel and leave and not do anything to the 50 guys I drugged downstairs. No. No. Even if he wasn't handcuffed, that person will be up and at it again within 5 seconds. You ever watch the UFC? Guys get knocked out, tapped out, women too, all the time. They're up in seconds. It's very rare power, or you never see it on a choke though. People are up in a minute. And I mean, not even a minute, like 5-10 seconds tops. So, yeah, he can't leave anyone. Ugh. So, of course, in the comments, I got a lot of anyone who points this out must be an R word. Calling me an R word. How do you like that? Okay, so yeah, so one lady commented on there because I pointed this out to him. And I said, you too, ladies, if a man has you handcuffed and you get free and wrestle the scalpel away, but one hand's... don't let go of the choke. Don't let go until they stop kicking. Okay? Even then, leave it on. You pass out after a few seconds. It's like, you got to hold it another minute at least for them to die. So this big lady, normally I don't go into profiles, but she was going into mine. So all's fair. Said, "Oh, I just called you an R word. How do you like that?" I said, and I quote, "Oh no, a 400-pound blue-haired Karen who's never been in the same state as me is accusing me of being an R word." So, and it was pretty funny because her and a couple of, "I just messaged your girlfriend that and let you know, and that she's dating an R word, and I reported you to Facebook." So it was funny because Facebook did a review, and we're like, "Well, you're whatever the hell they call it, the thing that Kyle Rittenhouse is suing for. You are saying you're accusing people you've never met of being an R word," and suspended them and deleted their comments, which was pretty funny. I'm sure they probably took it as proof. Oh, that's proof of the paper. We're never believed. Yeah, you're online. Oh, believe all women. But we're all going to go around and post the 400 men in the comments who don't like the same movie as us or R words. Yeah, and it's my fault accusers aren't always believed. Anyway, but that is exactly the type of propaganda this movie, that is the target audience of this film. You can't even accuse random people from around the world of being an R word without being believed. Tear. But that is the target audience, recruiting new members with impressionable young girls. You see that? You didn't believe me that accusers aren't believed? That the system favors men? The same system that gives women custody 85% of the time? And divorces? The same system that saw Johnny Depp record him and got Amber Heard to admit she was the abuser? He still loses all his jobs. She's still working? You mean, yeah, that system's against you, girls. You can't even call a random guy on Facebook an R word without him going to jail for 20 years. Unreal. There's your proof right there. If you think this movie's full of shit, and in a fantasy world, there's your proof. You can't even accuse the people that don't like it of the R word without them going to prison. Man. All right. So male cops don't care, of course, at first. They're like, oh, because they bury her, which was dumb. And so, again, oh, we don't care. Yeah, she was kind of crazy, blah, blah, blah. But finally we see how smart she is. She tricked them all. The video comes out at the dude's wedding that strangled her to death after she, tied him up and was going to cut into him with a scalpel. So, and they all get arrested and everything. So that was dumb, When someone handcuffs you to a bed, drugs everybody, gets enough drugs to drug everybody at a party, kidnaps kids, handcuffs you to a bed, tries to insert a scalpel into your flesh, whether they were going to kill you or not. I'm sure the defenders of this movie was, well, she wasn't going to. He didn't know that. And still, you don't have to lay there and let people cut into your belly with a scalpel or face or whatever she was going for. But they all get so yeah, they should have just told the cops, this lady drugged us all and tried to kill me, kidnapped kid. Yeah, they would have been fine. They would have been absolutely fine, but burning her body is what got them. So, but again, yeah, so the comments, Captain Marvel, this is the first superhero movie with a woman. Black Panther, this is the first superhero movie with a black guy. This movie tried to claim, again, all these progressives try to claim everything since 2016. So groundbreaking. And again, I got in the argument with the comments, like, this is not the first R-word revenge movie. Yes, it is. This is the first one. We've been waiting for a hero. And show me one R-word movie. And I snapshot of Google, because as soon as you type in R-word revenge movie, it literally asks you want the ones coming out next year, the ones that came out this year, the ones that came out last year, the ones of 2018, 17, 16, 15, all the way to the silent film era. This is not breaking new ground. There's over 600 in the genre. I quit counting after so many. It's been compared to, Joker and John Wick. Well, personally, I didn't like Joker. That was just about a crazy SOB. It wasn't like he was against all women or a particular race or a particular gender. He wasn't like killing gay people or anything like that. John Wick was not a movie that all Russians kill and mutilate dogs and torture them, and all Russians need to be stopped because no dog is safe around Russians. But this movie is literally a meeting. Said, you know what's hot right now? People actually believe right now. We've got a lot of women out there right now who believe if a man asks you out on a date and you say no, you didn't want to, well then you've been R-worded. Has a man ever put his hand on your shoulder, arm, even on a date, without getting your permission first? Well then you've been R-worded. Has a man ever offered you a drink and you didn't want one from that guy? Then you've been R-worded. Have you ever, quote, been looked or leered at? Then you've been R-worded. People believe that right now. People believe every woman, they use that stupid, every woman knows another woman who's been assaulted. That's probably true. Because remember, the number is actually 1 in 53. We've all met 53 women by the time we're 5. When we're 15, we've met 530 women. When we're 25, we've met 5,300 women. So we'll have met 100 victims, sadly. And I hope they all get justice. But this movie preys on, again, I mean, have you ever walked into a club and it's just 100 men twerking with each other and no women on the dance floor, and the ones who are 2 feet apart? Again, no. This movie's trying to sell you that there's no such thing as consensual sex. Women only have sex when they're drunk. No woman can ever have a drink, 2 drinks, buzzed. Every woman drinks until they're falling over themselves with alcohol spilling, and only guys who get laid, the only way they can get it up is if a chick passes out. So anyway, that is the first and only, to my knowledge, honest review of this propaganda film called Promising Young Woman. Young's a bit of a stretch, sorry. The rest have all just been either women who are easily... I read in some of the comments, I didn't know I've been R-worded until I saw this movie. I'm pretty sure if you didn't know, then you weren't. If you had to watch... Oh, wait a minute. I have had a drink before, and then there was a guy who had a drink, and then we hooked up. I've been assaulted. I'm a victim of assault. No, you're not. You had a couple drinks, you made a mistake. Hey, both of you did. You know, you did something stupid. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe it wasn't a mistake. I've met a lot of my girlfriends over having a drink at a bar. I've had women. Yeah, a friend I will tell a story about later. Yeah, you see the impact. You know, women. How come Baby It's Cold Outside is problematic and R-wordy, but WAP is okay? Strong and empowered. Because we're in charge. You've always been in charge. You've always had the ability to decide. I've had some of the most intelligent women I know argue that. Like, you were dating that guy before 2016. Did he club you over the head? Or did he give you a choice, yes or no, on that first date? He did. Then where the hell is this coming? Then it's coming from propaganda. You're a victim of propaganda to crap like this. To garbage like this movie. This was literally... Imagine a movie by Klansmen who said, we need to portray a movie like that shows all bad behavior black people, and that portrays all white people as innocent, and no white person will not be a victim of a black person in their life. And you will understand the hatred and just nastiness of this movie. All right. That's it for now. Please like and subscribe. Don't be greedy. If you watch to the end, then you liked it enough to hit the button. Come on, man. If you want to see more, you want more movie reviews, drop a comment in below and I will cover more. But subscribe, share with your friends if you have a similar opinion. Thank you.